Libra, I'm doing a love reading for you guys for the month of December. We're going to dive right into the tarot this time. I have to say, and I don't mean to discourage you, so please don't click off, but the love readings, this series, I don't know where the love is in December, but the love readings have been kind of off or off the topic of love. So I just wanted you to know. We'll see what your cards are. Okay, you get a bunch. So the Queen of Cups in reverse. This is the Knight of Cups. The Eight of Wands. This is the Queen of Wands. She came out in reverse. So two queens in reverse. The Eight of Swords and the Emperor. There's a lot of activity going on. You're going to find that there's lots of messages coming your way. Very emotional messages. They're all messages of love. You're getting congratulated. You're being uplifted. Yet, there's a little bit of apprehension here. It's almost like you're not too sure of what the message or the messages you're receiving are truly about. Almost because the two queens are in reverse. So whoever is sending these messages, right, like the two court cards here, besides the page, I'm really focused on, because for me the page was more of an energy of presenting some love, communicating a feeling. So the two queens for me are much more like you and this other person, or these other persons, people. You're not sure what the messages are or what they're for, what the intentions are truly. I mean, you feel some kind of interest, and you feel some love, and you feel some... But you're apprehensive about it. You're doubting it. You're second-guessing. And also, you're doing that because the two queens are in reverse. So, both on an emotional level with the Queen of Cups, and then on a more, I want to say, quote-unquote, physical or more superficial level with the Queen of Wands. You're wondering what the interest or what the attraction is, or what it is that is generating those messages. So the Emperor is here. I'm not sensing that the Emperor is the person communicating with you. I feel that the queens here are the ones that are communicating with you, as well as how you're receiving those messages and how much you're second-guessing them, because you're not sure of how they're really impacting you emotionally and what they pertain to when they basically touch upon like how you perceive yourself, what you look like, what you feel, not your emotions, but how you feel like in your skin, right? Almost how you're embodied. So I'm not sure I'm expressing myself thoroughly here. What I'm trying to put out basically is to let you know that you're second guessing why people might tell you maybe that you look good, or that they think you're pretty, or that, you know, they feel something for you, or everything that they're going to tell you, you're going to basically second guess. And I'm even going to say, you're not going to like me, but you're almost kind of shutting yourself out, or kind of removing yourself from whatever those compliments are. You're very weary of what they are, what they're intended for, the impact they have on you. You're trying to gauge what it is that you're not really understanding. So you're kind of trying to feel out, and you're trying to pinpoint. So it's almost like trying to really find out what it is that is really being activated or triggered in you, because it's triggering something in you. And now this Emperor figure takes on a whole different aspect for me, because it touches upon almost like this would be you, Libra. I mean, I know it's supposed to be a love reading again, and you are getting some love messages, quote unquote. I don't feel they're necessarily fully all romantic. Some could be romantic, but overall, any form of compliment, any form of attention that you're getting, any form of feelings that people are maybe sharing with you or trying to get out of you as well, right? And creating a response. You're weary about that. You're sort of removing, or at least kind of I don't know, you're almost shutting yourself out, or a little bit. But it's the Emperor. The Emperor is about okay, it's like saying, this is like you at your best, you at your core, you in your, if you were to live out your highest calling, just let's say the best version of yourself, right? In every sense. So really feeling aligned, grounded, secure, empowered, willful, perceptive, so I mean, look at the cards. I'm going to show you how I see it, because on the table this card precedes the Emperor. So for me, this Emperor is sort of hiding behind the Eight of Swords. There's a little bit of almost like not wanting to show your true colors. Yet, this is the twist. You don't think that your colors are showing, but basically they really are. And people can see the Emperor. So the messages are geared towards the Emperor figure in you at your best. But you're doing this thing of second guessing everything, because you probably don't feel so, you know, great about yourself in terms of how you perceive yourself. You might have some form of low self-esteem or bad self-image, or even the lack of self-love to a degree. And so you think that the messages, you're wondering, because you think they're geared towards this figure, because you feel like this figure, or you think that's what people perceive, and there's a disconnect between what's being sent your way. But basically the messages are geared towards the Emperor figure in you. So as much as I want to do a love reading for you, this is like a self-love reading. I can't get around it. Let's draw some more. Let's see how this develops, whether there's any real romantic love showing up. Or not. And if not, what's showing up for you in December? The Sun card and the Two of Swords in reverse. You know, you're gonna come out of your head, basically, because you're gonna become fully aware of your own power. Whatever that natural authority that can be sensed on both the Emperor and the Sun card. So this is simply a natural authority, or just natural, you could say leadership, or if it's not leadership, it's simply confidence, self-love with the Sun here, knowing your worth, and just deciding to shine, right? Just forgetting about this, right? You're dropping the status quo. You're dropping the indecision about, you know, am I being perceived as this figure on the Eight of Swords, like really, really stuck and just like in a poor state of mind, I guess, versus being very, I want to say full of yourself, but in a healthy way, right? It's beautiful. You're going to realize that you're going to understand that the messages are geared towards the central part of you that is really healthy and that is warm, and that truly is what attracts people. And so you're going to realize that it's not surface level, which is what you were second guessing and doubting and questioning. You were basically not in accord with wanting superficiality or in things that weren't authentic, and maybe just flattering to be flattering, you know what I mean? Instead of being for the right reasons, or basically you're going to realize that people truly see who you are and who you are at your best, right? No one's perfect. It's not about being perfect. It's just about being, you're going to be happy that people really see you for when you express yourself, that it is really you and that's what they really are attracted to, and not a persona. And you're going to feel more and more comfortable as well to express that higher self of yours, that true self, if you want. The vulnerable side of you as well. You're going to be content with that. You're going to be quite happy. It's going to bring you a lot of satisfaction. It's going to empower you. It's also going to ground you even more. And it's going to make you feel even more, yes, confident, but also it'll sort of stimulate your willpower. And I think that's really important. I think you need to have a little bit more initiative here, because there's no initiative in this attitude. On the contrary, it's an energy of being closed off and like being quite passive. And the Emperor's energy is totally different. He doesn't act recklessly, and it's thought out, but he's always a man of action or a woman of action. This is a beautiful reading, even if it's not a romantic love reading. It's quite an empowering, I think it's, I'm enjoying reading this for you. I think it's extremely positive. Look at what came out, integrity. This is such an Emperor energy. The integrity part, oh my goodness. And that's what I was describing. This whole reading, it's about that. You're not wanting the messages to be aimed at what you think people might be perceiving of you, which would be like the exterior side of you, or maybe just, you know, as we all do, you know, the persona side of ourselves. So the superficial and not necessarily authentic or fully authentic side of yourself. And so you want to be in integrity, in full integrity always, but you also want people to recognize that integrity. And so it's going to be great that it's not about the messages, right? It's not about what people are telling you. It's about how you receive that and how you choose to, or how you're able to really sense that the messages are really felt and that you are being seen for what who you really are and what you're really putting out there. And that's the alignment, true alignment and true joy and empowerment ultimately. Let's draw a love oracle deck card out of this deck. I don't know what it's gonna since there's no romance here, but uh-oh, 2 cards went flying, but I mean like really far, so apologies. Okay, you get taking the plunge, which I like, but then you get jealousy and possessiveness. And I had this for another sign, I don't remember which one. It's a reading I did yesterday actually. So taking the plunge is that piece about the willpower I was describing. I think that's really important. I think you need to develop that more. It takes willpower to be able to take the plunge. It takes one to know thyself, right? To have this integrity, to know that, okay, I'm whole, and therefore I'm able to take any decision and move into action towards anything that I want. So you can plunge. You know that it's what you need to do when you need to do it, right? There's no question about it. You have enough willpower and a little bit of a daredevil sort of energy here to drive you to explore new things. Mostly, it's very Aries-like as well, right? Obviously, the Emperor's Aries, so even the Sun card, it's the fire energy, so wanting to move into action and like following that passion, right? But then jealousy and possessiveness, you know, maybe some of the messages are geared towards, they might be expressions of envy towards you, or you might trigger people's envy or even jealousy to a degree. But jealousy is more in a romantic sense. I think it's more envy here, possessiveness. I'm not sure how it ties in really with this particular reading, except that you might be, as when you are in your Emperor energy, when you're acting in a place, out of a place of full integrity and out of pure self-expression at the highest possible levels of that expression, right? Meaning no filters, no inhibitions, no, how do you say? Almost like leaving nothing behind or not out in the open, you know? Being transparent. It could be that some other people are having a hard time with that. No matter for, like, it doesn't really matter why. It's just that it happens. You might experience it through the messages, but I don't think so necessarily. Because ultimately, initially, the messages were positive at the, you know, the Page of Cups and the Eight of Wands are upright. You just might not know that you're triggering envy and jealousy. Maybe that's why the card came out, to let you know. Sorry. Anyways, Libra, ultimately for me, it's a super positive reading, even if there's no romantic love here per se. It's still a beautiful reading. I hope you agree. Please like the video, do share, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you soon. Thank you so much. Good night.